Hey guys, we're still in the book of James. I want to take you to chapter 3 right now. And there is a critical verse that speaks to us about what real practical Christianity looks like. 2 Sundays ago, we spoke about the verse that says, "He who has control of his tongue has mastered himself." We're talking about the controlling of the tongue. If you're able to control that, then you have done really well. If we can control the speech that we have, the attitudes, the tone of voice, the body language that goes with that, which would make it more conducive to children of God, we've done really well. But I want to take you to another passage today, and you'll find it in Isaiah chapter 58. And we're probably going to refer to this a number of times over the course of the next few weeks. But in Isaiah chapter 58, he's talking to us about what we need to, how we need to speak. Now, this is an Old Testament prophet answering the questions of the people who say, man, we've done everything. We've done everything that religiously and ritualistically that we should do. What more is it going to take for us to please God? And then he speaks to us here and he says, if you do away with the yoke of oppression, that's one thing, with the pointing of fingers and malicious talk. And then if you come across to verse 13, he talks about doing away with speaking idle words. You know, we can break down this thing about words quite easily. There are many different types of words that we could use, and the Bible is very specific about which ones would not be good and which ones would be good. The first aspect of those which are not good is words that would be considered to be blasphemous. You know, the commandment that says, do not use the Lord your God's name in vain. Well, that means that any word that cusses God, any word that curses him, that uses his name or his reputation in vain, is to be avoided at all costs. Now, when we're looking for an example of what I'm talking about, I'm just thinking about Goliath, where we see Goliath's language towards David in respect to God, Jehovah. And David is taken aback by this giant's blasphemous talk. He talks wicked about God. He brings God's name down into the dirt and he tramples all over the name of Jehovah. And David is just saying, you can't speak about my God like that and get away with it. You see, you can speak about God's name like that, but you're not going to get away with it, especially if David is standing around the corner. So David heard these blasphemous words of cursing of God, and he got a righteous anger, and he says, no one talks about my God like that. And you know the story from then, how he went down to the brook, picked up some stones, took them, and he killed Goliath. Goliath blasphemed the name of God. Now we say, well, I would never do that. I would never swear and use Jesus' name as a curse word. Well, I hope not. I think sometimes we need to question some of the things we say. And when we say, oh my God, you know, then I wonder if that's not coming quite close to the line when we start using expressions that seem to be euphemisms of the real thing. Be very careful of those things. But my suggestion to you today is that you don't have to use words to blaspheme the name of God. You don't have to use words just to be able to show that you're taking God's name in vain. Sometimes our actions, we all know, speak louder than words. And when people who apparently know that we are Christians see us doing business deals that may not be legitimate, they say, and you're a believer, every time you do a crooked business deal, people, you take God's name in vain. Every time that you laugh at the world's jokes, you take his name in vain. Every time we laugh when people, or we do nothing when people belittle the name of God, and we watch this and we take God's name in vain every time we break the commandment to love God as we should. So let's be very careful. It's not just a words thing. You all know that your words are only a reflection of your heart. And your heart is what this is all about. And when we do bad things, and when we trash God's reputation, not in the things we say, but in the things that we do, I've got to tell you, we take God's name in vain as well. So I would urge you, be very careful in a world that is looking to point fingers. Be careful of idle talk, malicious words, talking about other people that is not legitimate. And I'll talk to you tomorrow about what some of those things look like. Let's keep our tongues clean, and above all, let's keep our actions in line with what we claim to be. Have a good day. Bye-bye.